Welcome to You Can Sit with Lux, our new podcast where real estate meets real life. Here we will take you behind the curtains at LUXE Properties to showcase our culture, our team, and how we elevate the real estate experience and everything in between. Welcome to another episode of You Can Sit with Lux. I am your host, Wesley Ulloa, and today we have a special guest for you all, the fabulous Bianca Guevara. She's going to share her story about how she has become an amazing boss babe, what she does, and I'm really excited for everybody to hear a little bit about it. So,
thank you, Wes.
how are you?
Who are you? Long time no see.
I know. I feel like we talk like every hour. No, but it's such a pleasure to have you on here.
Thank you.
You are a powerhouse and you've built a very impressive career in real estate. Tell us a little bit about your background though, before real estate and what you did before.
It's funny because at the age of 17, I started working in retail at the Limited. I don't know if you remember the Limited.
Of course.
Funny story. And I think it was such a great, it was great for me because I was working with the customers.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, that job prepared me for real estate because my ease to talk to people started at, working at the Limited at the age of 17, selling fashion, right? And I had, talk about full circle. I had my two managers at that point, Gita and Gloria. I ended up selling their homes 2 years ago here in Tamarack, and they bought their homes with me in Sarasota. So when I was 17, they taught me also about fashion and about selling clothes. And years later, I work with them. So it's like teaching all the real estate.
And you have such a fashion influence. I like in your day, like in your, in your career, you've brought in so much fashion and lifestyle. So it's so awesome to see how it started from all the way back then.
I love fashion. Fashion loves me.
Nothing wrong with that. That's amazing. Now, you also did a little bit of hedge fund work in saying that?
So I working in the Limited was great. I would work part-time hours. And after that, I graduated high school, went to FIU, got my teaching degree, had never stepped foot in a classroom, right? But because I was working in private equity, I did it for like 13 years, right? Loved it. I've sold so many homes of my colleagues back at HIG, and we still remain friends. And, I transitioned into real estate because I wanted a career change, right? So that's, I obviously had met you, and I said to myself, I love what I do, but I'm ready for something else. It's not that it didn't fulfill me anymore. I could still be there, but it didn't fulfill me anymore. I dabbled into real estate, ended up loving it because so many of my colleagues referred me business my first year of real estate. And I remember doing over 20 open houses my first year of real estate.
I remember. I don't know if we could roll back like old Lux photos. I have old Lux photos, Bianca carrying open house signs. Those are so real moments back then.
And I was doing the weekends because I had I had a full-time job, making over six figures. Loved my job. But for me to dabble into real estate, I only had time to do it on the weekends or after hours, right?
But you still excelled, which was amazing. You were doing your full-time job and then still selling a ton of real estate.
It could be done, right?
Yeah.
I just, I had two full-time jobs. And that's when I came to realization, like, I got so busy in both that I said, I can't do this anymore. Yeah, I'm going to have to pick one or the other because I was burning out. And that's just the reality. And I said to myself, I remember 2 years to a T, I think my dad had just passed away. And I had gotten my broker's license, and I'm like, I have to give up one. There's no way I can do both because I'm burning out. I am doing a disservice to everyone around me because I can't do this 100%, be in both places, anymore. And I ended up loving real estate, and here I am, 11 years later, right?
But I love that you, like, everything that you have done in your past has really helped shape you from what you're telling me. And like, when you say that story, it all starts to make sense. Fashion, you're one of the most fashionable people we know, right?
Thank you.
But then your teaching degree, you love leading others.
Love it.
And then,
absolutely.
And you have that like instilled in you, because if you thought about being a teacher, you wanted to help, you wanted to give back. And then that's where your leadership side.
And honestly, the only reason that I didn't go into teaching and being very candid is because I was making a lot more money working in private equity, right? So it just didn't make sense at that time. But I love the teaching. I love, and it fits my role now perfectly because I do love it, right? Not teaching it, okay? Which sometimes I can act like day to day, but I do love it. And everything happens for a reason. Sometimes our smallest jobs, like working 10 hours at the limited or working in corporate America, and I think I run my business very corporate because of those 13 years in working at HID, right? So I think everything has shaped me to the person that I am now.
No, and I love hearing that. Now, let's go back to your part-time work, right? A lot of people might not know that you started as a part-time agent.
I did.
And a lot of people say you can't do it part-time, right? Whether you can or you can't, you were very successful. And what helped you? Obviously, you've transitioned full-time now, but when you were starting, what helped you differentiate yourself or helped you set you apart at the beginning?
Hey, I was consistent, right? Like I said to myself, I knew that I only had the weekends.
Yeah.
And I know that I only had after hours.
Yeah.
So I was consistent, with my, lead generation, doing open houses. That's how I met people. At the end of the day, that's how you meet people. If you don't have the leads, how are you going to meet, you one-on-one, right? And I feel like I'm better in person than I am over the phone. So I dabbled on that, right? So I'm like, this is what I'm good at. And it worked out. And most of the time, people didn't buy the houses that they were doing. You came to see me at the open house. I would show them houses in the neighborhood because if I was doing an open house in the Gables, most likely they want to buy in the Gables. Yeah. I think we both can agree with that, right?
Of course.
So, and it's just, I feel like I'm being authentic at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. I'm not only selling real estate. I feel, and it go, let me take it a step spot. 70% of my business is referrals.
Yes.
So you have to do a great job with your clients for them to refer you other clients, right? And if you're not authentic, if you're not real, people can see that. We can see that.
I love that.
Yeah.
And that's for everybody, watching. You can do this part-time, but you do have to show up. You do have to be consistent. Because I will add to that I remember when you were doing that, you would have your full-time job, but then you had your second full-time job because you were working the minute you got out of there from 5 till 12, 1 in the morning. I remember those days. And every
my equals, right?
Yes. 1, 2 in the morning. And you would put in the amount of time required because you wanted it, right? So for all of those out there that might not be able to do this full-time, you just have to put in the work. If you put in the work, I think you'll find that success, right?
And it goes back to, there's days that we're not motivated. I think you and I have had this conversation. There's days that we're not motivated, but we have to be consistent, right? And that's what sets us apart. Like, what are we doing differently? We're consistent.
Yeah.
And when some people just want to give up, we do the same thing, basically. Real estate is never the same, but we're very consistent in what we do. And I think that's what sets apart the top producer with your average agent.
100%. Showing up, even when you don't want to.
Right.
Now, you mentioned sometimes you're not motivated, right? And that's normal for anybody. Right. Was there any challenge early on that helped shape your career? And how did you overcome those challenges? It could be the part-time or anything else.
I'm going to say something. I was a yes person before, right? Yeah. A yes person, like yes to everything, every client. And sometimes I've now, 11 years later, I can say that we're not aligned, if the client does not see my value, if the agent doesn't see our value, then it's a no for me.
100%.
Right? Because I prefer to cut my losses early than later. Yeah.
And value your time, right? Part of that is valuing, where you stand and not everybody's for everybody.
And I think that early on, we want the lead, we want the client, but at the end of the day, just like sellers and buyers are interviewing us, we're interviewing them. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, I want to work with people that, value, what I bring to the table. And the same goes for, let me change the hat to agents. I want to work with people that, that we can bring value to them, but it's, they want to show up to work as well.
Reciprocal. I love that. I absolutely love that. Now, you've built a brand. Right. Bianca Broker. Right. And fashion, lifestyle.
Red.
I came dressed appropriately today.
I know.
How did your brand take shape? Was it intentional or did it evolve naturally?
No, naturally. I love the color red. So we started with a red dress with my Sanogen red. But honestly, it's being authentic. It's being myself. Like what you see is what you get, right? Obviously, people can tell through my social media that I like to travel. I like to eat. I like real estate. So it's a combination. And it's, connecting with people. Sometimes, I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes my travel and my fashion gets me more leads than my real estate. And that's just the truth. And bring it on. I love it. It's organic.
But you show who you are. And people are attracted to authenticity every single day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, we're going to switch it up a little bit now. We went from your backgrounds. Now we're talking more about work and balance, or what that looks like. So you juggle a lot of hats. For those that don't know, you're top producing agent, branch manager, mentor, personal life on top of that. But you make it look effortless. How do you stay so balanced?
Work-life balance. That's cute. Lots of prayer, lots of Jesus, and lots of coffee.
I think I'm on my third coffee today, so I know that feeling.
I actually gave up coffee, but lots of prayer. I'm very big on checklist,
Okay.
time blocking.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, if it's not in my calendar, it ain't happening. And that's just the reality.
Yeah.
We can blame age for that, maybe.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you because the world will try to pull you in 30 different directions every day. So I am with you.
I love the time blocking of, for example, the aging hat and then the branch manager hat, right? So it's order of importance.
Yeah.
And things I need to get done.
Of course.
So we put them in categories.
Of course.
And I make sure for them to get done.
Right.
I usually do them on Sundays. I plan out my week. Obviously, there's things that get through. There's things that come up, and that's fine. But you have to have a schedule. And it has to be written down. Because if it's not written down, it ain't happening.
I love that. I preach because I feel exactly the same way. And you got to have that structure. And I feel like it allows you to flourish.
Yeah. And kudos to the people that has the work-life balance, in check. I'm not one of them. I'm a work in progress. But to me, what works for me is having it written down and checking off.
Well, even if you're a work in progress, you make it look great. So I will commend you for that. Now, you travel a lot. You're always on the go. You're always on the move.
56 countries, baby.
Oh, counting. Is the goal?
6 continents. I have Antarctica.
Right. That's going to be a cruise, I would imagine.
Yes.
Is the goal to do all of them?
Yes, that's my goal.
I love it. I love it. Now, how does that fuel your creativity? How do you bring that back, to real estate?
I love it. I meet so many people when I travel. Obviously I'm going to beautiful destinations. Some are not as beautiful, but you meet very authentic people. People that are never going to have the opportunity, especially women that are never going to have the opportunities that we have. Mm-hmm. So it makes it kind of work harder, kind of a thing. For example, when I did Camino de Santiago, which, we're walking 20, 25 miles a day, every time I saw a hill, I would cry. And the reason I did Camino de Santiago is to disconnect from real estate because I was burning out.
Yeah.
Right. And my dad had just passed away and I was burned out. I had amazing years in real estate, but I needed a reset. And Camino de Santiago was great, but it also taught me that I can't take care of others if I don't take care of myself. And walking those 20 miles a day, every time I saw a hill, I would cry. And sometimes our mind tells us that we can't do things, right? And we can. And then I bring that back here to the States or back home saying, sometimes when we go through challenging times.
Of course.
I always think about Camino de Santiago because at the end of the day, this too shall pass and we'll get through it.
Yeah, no, and you did it and you accomplished it. And of course, we're sorry about your father passing away, but these helped shape you into who you are.
Definitely.
And with that being said, you have truly who you are mastered style and substance. How does that impact or your presentation impact your credibility?
To me, first impression is everything. And they say that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but people still buy beautiful books with beautiful covers.
Yes.
So I think my biggest fear is seeing a client or anyone that I know, like at a supermarket, and I look like trash. I can't. I've always been very big at a very young age to look presentable. Mm-hmm. I think especially first impression is everything to me. Mm-hmm. And I enjoy fashion. And I feel like even when I don't feel great and I'm dressed well, I feel great.
And when you feel great, you do great things, right? Yeah. So it all blends together. All right. Well, then when you're traveling and living life,
Yes.
do you disconnect or do you stay productive?
How was?
Do you still do the fashion too?
You're still getting my phone calls and emails. I know, very hard. I'm a work in progress. I honestly, I wish I could be, I'm jealous of those people that go on trips and they disconnect. I'm not one of them. It's like, I've been told that, I really need to work on that. But I enjoy what I do. Like I really do. And I question my sanity most of the time, but it's very hard I think that's one of the hardest things that I'm still working on, like trying to disconnect because I can't. And that's just the reality.
But you do the fashion.
I do the fashion. Bianca, broker, and Bianca, vacation are two different people.
Tell us about Bianca vacation.
Bianca vacation, like tries, like her outfits are different. Like I really enjoy the fashion when I travel. Like we dress so differently. At work, I'm a little bit more conservative. In vacation, I like to, a little bit more of a trendsetter.
Love it. I love it. Well, I love you being so authentic and real for everybody. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
So you get a lot of inspiration from your travel. Let's bring it back to Miami. How do you keep your agents, because you run a very powerful branch. I think you had your best month yet last month. How do you keep them inspired and connected to a bigger picture of growth and getting better every day?
I think it's leading by example, right? I think that they see me and they look up to me, would hope so. I think that just like, for example, I know I couldn't work with someone that I didn't look up to. I look up to you. So I think the same goes for them, right? They look up to us.
Making me blush here.
Look up to us and setting the example that it could be done, right? And everyone's goals are completely different, right? Like you have agents that are okay with doing 5 million a year. You have agents that want to do 20 million a year. Mm-hmm. So it's, it's having that conversation. It's so individual. Like their goals are so individual, but showing them that if I could do it, I could run a branch and I can sell.
Yeah.
It'll be done, right?
And I love that connection. So that connection to that agent. And obviously, I would hope that they look up to you as well, because you are a powerhouse. I say it all the time.
Thank you.
But that connection to them, that seeing where they are and meeting them where they are. It sounds like that's what, you're seeing how to bring the best out of them.
I think that it's not, sometimes we can have a meeting with 5 agents and they all connect differently. Yeah. So we have to be, I think it has to be a very individual because everyone has different goals and needs.
I love that.
Business.
So how do you identify potential in agents, or how do you know if they got it?
Very, very early on, once when I have that one-on-one meeting, I ask them what their goals are, right? Yeah. And that's why, like when I ask them that, some of their goals are, to me, I mean, my goals are very big, but to them, their goal is like, oh, okay, we're doing 5 million a year. Mm-hmm. So it's just very individual. But you see that they have this desire to like do open houses, to meet people, or lead generation. So it really depends.
They have that fire in them that they want.
Oh, they do.
Love that.
Yeah,
I love that. Now, what trends are you seeing in high-performing agents that people should pay attention to?
I think doubling down on content.
Yeah.
We're seeing that a lot, whether they're doing content in homes, they're doing podcasts. I also see a lot of AI lead generation. Mm-hmm. And that's a big one, right? Yeah, I see a lot of agents that are doing that as well. But also going back to the basics, right? Being consistent. Because we're all true. Picking up the phone.
Showing up, right?
Right.
I mean, we could do all the fancy things, but if we're not going to show up or pick up the phone.
Right. Everyone wants the secret sauce, right?
Yeah.
Everyone wants the secret sauce. They want luxury listings, but at the end of the day, you have to be consistent and you have to know your stuff, and you're doing a disservice not only to yourself and to your clients if you're not on top of your business, if you're not following up.
Yeah.
So.
But I think you're so on point, because true story, we recently landed a listing that to the seller, or a few listings, content was very important. That was one of the things that they specifically said, I want in an agent. So you're starting to see that they want that exposure. They want that extra social media push. They want that visibility. So I completely agree. Yes, AI is everywhere. So I think that's evolving so rapidly, but I think you're 100% on point. Those are trends, but we can't forget that foundational trends and doing that and standing out. All right. So as a leader, how do you balance your time? Because you're a top producing agent. You were the top agent at Lux last year, and still running a high performing branch, very well-oiled machine. And how do you balance nurturing the agents while still protecting your time and achieving your goals?
It's by leading by example for sure. I think I wear two hats, right?
Mm-hmm.
The agent hat, which the Leo and me always likes to be the best every year, right? But it's me against me kind of a thing.
That fire, you got that fire in you.
Fire. And so it's me against me. But when I wear the broker hat, branch manager hat, it's different. It has to be by example. I have to, not motivate them, but I have to, elevate them, right? I'll see their full potential, because at the end of the day, we give them the tools, but it's on them to get out there and put in the work.
My Leos are also very nurturing too. So you guys, I was raised by a Leo, so I know my mom. Tough, great love though. Great love, pushing you. So while you're shining, you're also nurturing, and you have your pack, and you guys all go together. So it's awesome to see.
We protect our people, and we see your full potential when maybe they don't even see it themselves.
100%. Love that. All right, so we're going to close with some rapid fire.
Go for it.
We always close out every episode asking a little bit more about you. So we're going to do this.
Go for it.
We got question 1, Coke or Diet Coke?
Coke Zero, baby.
Coke Zero.
All day.
Remixing it. Modern new construction or classic Mediterranean?
You know this. Modern.
Modern all the way. All right, but then wait, it could be modern in this one. Do you want a Brickell condo or a Pinecrest single family?
Modern Pinecrest single family home.
That's on the goals list. That's on the goals list. One thing you can't leave home without.
Perfume.
I was gonna say your phone, but that makes sense too.
I smoke it.
You need to. Okay, now you're anybody, right? That's a must for anybody.
I do.
Carry on or check bag?
Carry on.
All right. Window or aisle seats?
Business class, window seat.
Not me grabbing your arm, holding on for dear life.
Yes.
Favorite hotel you've ever stayed in?
Caprica in Mallorca and La Mamonia in Marrakesh.
Love it. Love it. Love your travels. Love hearing it all. So now you guys know where to go. Bianca, thank you for coming on.
Thank you. No, thank you. It's been great.
And thank you for being so authentic, sharing your story. So I hope you guys all love that, appreciate it. Anything else you want to close with?
No, thank you. It's been great.
Thank you guys for watching. Love to see you again. Follow along. Next episode. Bye.
Bye, guys.